2025, Gianni Infantino took home a $6 million pay package from a not-for-profit organization. Read that back, not-for-profit. FIFA's official status, the thing printed in its own statutes, is a non-profit association under Swiss law. And the man at the top of it just gave himself the same salary as an MLS-bound national team manager, while housing costs in Switzerland and Florida get quietly picked up by the federation, while a private jet, reportedly sponsored by Qatar Airways, flies him from Washington to Mexico City to Toronto. I'll give you the exact number of World Cups, sponsors, and countries he's leaned on to get here. By the end of this video, you'll understand why greed might actually be too small a word for what's happening at the top of world football. Welcome back. Now every football channel is going to make some version of this video eventually. The salary headline, a screenshot of the pay rise. Can you believe this caption? I don't want to just do that. I want to ask the only question that actually matters. How does a man running a non-profit sporting body end up structurally incentivized to squeeze more money out of every single decision he makes? Because once you line up the last 5 years, you stop seeing scandals. You start seeing a pattern. Let's build it in order. Infantino wins the FIFA presidency on a reform platform, promising to clean up after Sepp Blatter. Fair enough, somebody had to. He goes to FIFA's own stakeholders with a $25 billion private investment proposal, a stake in an expanded Club World Cup, and a brand new global league, backed reportedly by SoftBank and Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund. The committee says no, not because the money was fake, but because nobody would say who the money actually belonged to. That detail matters. Remember it because it comes back. The World Cup goes to Qatar. Ticket prices climb. Migrant labor conditions draw international condemnation. Infantino's response, delivered days before kickoff, is to tell the world he feels Qatari, feels Arab, feels gay, feels disabled, as a way of deflecting criticism of the host nation. It's one of the strangest press conferences in the history of the sport, and it happens right before the biggest commercial event FIFA has ever run. Unopposed, re-elected for another 4 years, extending a run that will eventually stretch past a decade in charge, with almost no internal challenge and almost no term limit resistance. His salary rises 33%. Total package, $4.67 million. FIFA's explanation is performance-based bonuses tied to the Women's World Cup cycle. It rises again, 33% again. Total package, roughly $6 million, same justification, performance. Two 33% raises, back-to-back, for the man running an organization that calls itself non-profit. Here's the thing about a pattern like that. It's not one greedy decision. It's a system where every metric that gets used to justify the next raise is a metric he personally controls. More games, more sponsors, more countries paying in, more tournaments on the calendar. He's not just the president, he's grading his own performance review. Follow the money next, because this is where it stops being about one man's paycheck and starts being about what football itself has been turned into to fund it. The World Cup expanded from 32 teams to 48. More games, more broadcast windows, more advertising slots. The Club World Cup, the same competition rejected as a private investment vehicle back in 2019, got built anyway, expanding from 7 teams to 32 in the summer of 2025, crammed into American stadiums in punishing midsummer heat, with prize money dangled in front of federations that could not say no to it even if they wanted to. And then this year, the same idea from 2019 comes back around, dressed differently. FIFA proposes folding the commercial rights of the World Cup itself into a new subsidiary, valuing it at $20 billion and selling a slice to private investors, reportedly with Thrive Capital, run by Joshua Kushner, brother of Jared Kushner, son-in-law of the sitting U.S. president, named as the anchor investor. JP Morgan, the same bank that tried to bankroll the failed European Super League, sits alongside them. Announced on a Tuesday, dead by Friday night. 3 days, 55 European federations vote to boycott. CONMEBOL rejects it. The Asian Football Federation rejects it. One of FIFA's own senior advisors resigns rather than be associated with it. Infantino needed 106 votes. He lost by 137. I covered that collapse in detail in another video, so I won't rerun the whole timeline here. What matters for this video is what it tells you about the man, not the plan. Because here's the part that should actually worry you more than the failed deal itself. He tried this exact structure twice, 6 years apart, and got the same answer both times from the same stakeholders for the same reason. Nobody would say who was really buying in. That's not a one-off miscalculation. That's a person who does not update. Now let's talk about the relationships, because this is where greed starts blending into something closer to access for sale. Infantino's closeness to Donald Trump has become one of the defining images of his presidency. Stood beside him in the Oval Office, gifting him FIFA World Cup tickets, reportedly worth more than $15,000 according to disclosed records, publicly backing him for a Nobel Peace Prize he didn't win, and then having FIFA unveil something called the FIFA Peace Prize, widely expected to go to Trump himself at the World Cup group draw. Think about that sequence. A sporting body invents an award. The award's presumed recipient is a head of state the president of that sporting body has spent 2 years cultivating. And that same head of state's family investment firm was, weeks later, the anchor investor in a $20 billion deal to buy a piece of the World Cup. You don't have to prove a conspiracy to see the shape of the incentive. Proximity to power gets you tickets, gets you photo ops, gets you a seat at the table when the next deal needs financing. And Infantino has spent a decade building exactly that kind of closeness. Not just with Trump, but with Saudi Arabia, awarded the entire 2034 World Cup without a competing bid, after FIFA quietly shortened the bidding window to a matter of weeks. Here's where I'll do something you won't see much of tonight, 30 seconds of the other side. Football genuinely does need more revenue reaching the bottom. A federation training its national team on a public pitch does not benefit from $20 billion sitting untouched in Zurich. Expanded tournaments, in theory, mean more games, more broadcast windows, more distributed prize money for federations that have never had any. That is a real problem, and Infantino did not invent it. Blatter left it behind too. The instinct to say, let's find more money and spread it around, is not on its own corrupt. Solving a problem and exploiting it, though, are not the same act. You solve player welfare and federation poverty by fixing distribution. You exploit it by using it as the justification for selling the one asset that was never yours to sell, while quietly tripling your own bonus in the years leading up to the sale. Infantino identified something true. He used it to build a case for something that benefited him personally, disproportionately, before it benefited anyone he claimed to be helping. That's not reform, that's marketing. Is he then the greediest man in football history? I want to be careful here, because that's my opinion, not a fact, and I want you to know the difference. Sepp Blatter took a $12 million World Cup bonus on top of his salary and ran FIFA through decades of bribery scandals that ended in a US federal indictment. Infantino hasn't been charged with anything close to that. On paper, this isn't the same category of crime. Context matters here. Blatter operated in an era before anyone was really watching. Infantino is doing this in the daylight, public salary disclosures, public boycotts, public resignations, and still going back for more. He tried to sell the World Cup's commercial soul in 2019. Got told no. Waited. Tried again in 2025. Got told no again by an even bigger margin. And within days of that second collapse, he was already telling federations he'd be back at the table in the coming weeks. That's the part that actually defines greed, if you ask me. Not the size of any single number, the refusal to stop asking. Look, give football's fans and federations their credit. Twice now, in under a decade, ordinary supporters and the smallest, most powerless associations in the game have organized fast enough to kill a deal built by investment banks and sovereign wealth funds. That's genuinely rare. Most industries don't have that kind of immune system. That immune system only works if it keeps firing, though. The Club World Cup didn't get cancelled, it got bigger. The 2034 World Cup is already Saudi Arabia's. The salary keeps rising every single year regardless of what collapses around it. And the man at the center of all of it is still in the building, still cashing the bonus, still telling you he'll try again. Maybe then the real question isn't whether he's the greediest man in football history. Maybe it's whether anyone in that building is left who's willing to say no to him from the inside. Because so far, the only people who have ever actually stopped him are the ones with no seat at the table at all. I'll be here when he tries this again. Take care.